Minister, there are a number of persons who have been saying to me that we need to remember our teachers, those with underlying conditions and those with concerns, and what are we doing to just make sure that the working environment, that their concerns are not ignored, and that we abide by the best practices, in work practices, in terms of how we treat with them. Infant and basic school, our kindergartens, preschoolers, seem to be also an issue. Too many of those schools tell me, Minister, that they are willing and ready to welcome students face to face, but they are not clear. You know, they have done what they're supposed to do, and they're still being told no. So I want to make sure that we pay a little bit more attention to them, especially because we understand how important it is for those students to come in and have their face-to-face. There is no doubt that online in some way, shape, or form is a part of the future, and we have to try and get all of our students to the point where they can participate, understanding that it is not just the poor near poor that we have to focus on, but we also have to focus on rural students as well, to make sure that the inequities, the traditional inequities, are overcome.
The first question was, I see that the tablet OYOD, own your own device, you had 49% of the target by the December 31st deadline. So a little more than half had not yet successfully applied. And I see where you're reopening that on the 18th. Do you have a sense as to how long you're going to reopen it for in this second time round? If so, if you could give us an indication as to what period. The other question was to do with the credit vouchers that you referred to on page 2 of your statement. Minister, the support for the vulnerable student population by way of credit vouchers from the telecom providers. I was wondering if you could give us an indication as to how much credit per family or per child is provided by that, under that arrangement, and what would be the total value of the credit vouchers that the ministry has provided so far.
Minister, you indicated further too that with the price reduction through the COVAX facility from about 30 to a third of that, that's around $10, I want the assurance given to the Parliament, as was given by the Prime Minister in the month of August last year, that all Jamaicans would receive the COVID vaccine free of cost, as was indicated by the Prime Minister, and what provisions will be made in the budget to have this done.
While it does allow for the government of Jamaica to waive jurisdiction, the government of Jamaica, through the Minister of National Security, to waive jurisdiction, it is not obliged to. Each case is examined on its own merit. And they are the ones who decided to waive jurisdiction in the particular cases that we're talking about, not anyone else in either this house or the lower house. They have that discretion in each and every case where a vessel is intercepted. So you must take responsibility, Minister, for your action. I want to ask, in the circumstances, who is responsible for compensation of the owners of the vessel and also the men who have been dealt with in this manner?
There is no need in this legislation, Minister, for any independent person, whether an attorney, the defendant, a justice of the peace, or anybody else to be present while this is being done. And I respectfully submit that this is unjust, is inappropriate, and it defeats the very purpose for which this amendment is being done. You see, Minister Samudo, let me tell you, we defense attorneys love loopholes.
The Dangerous Act says regulations are going to come. Dangerous urgency to this. I don't think it is as urgent as the Road Traffic Act, which we passed in 2018 November. We couldn't get a week delay in the passage of that bill because they want to get rid of the disorder on the road. But the regulations after 2 years is still not before us. And the act is looking like a stillborn baby.